In this video, we'll be learning about how to get rid of color casts or how to fix the color cast problem in Affinity using white balance adjustment layer. So without any further ado, let's get started. So as you can see here, we have this particular image that has predominant warm color cast in the image. So what is color cast? Basically, a color cast simply refers to a condition of an image whenever there is a certain color, tints or tone that is predominant in the image. For example, as you can see here, we have the yellow color in the image that is predominantly available, or the warm color that is predominantly available. So we need to get rid of this color cast. So to do that, navigate below our layers panel and select this icon of adjustment. After selecting the adjustment icon, navigate and select white balance. Now you can see that the white balance box pops up. In the white balance box, simply adjust the value or the slider of white balance. As you can see that our image has a warm color that is predominant or has a warm color cast. All we need to do is click on the white balance slider and then drag it to the left like so. Now as you can see that slowly it has gotten rid of those warm color casts and has made our image more natural. Simply we can also adjust the tint slider, and now let's simply click and drag it to the right to make the skin tones a bit natural like so. So we are setting the value of 29% for our tint. After we are satisfied with all our white balance that we have applied, we can apply it by simply closing it, or we can commit the values of white balance by simply closing it, or we can simply adjust the opacity as well. However, for now in this image I'm satisfied with the changes that we have made with the white balance, so I'll close the white balance box by clicking on this X icon. Now let's check the before and after. So this is the before, where the warm color was very predominant in the image, and this is the after, where the warm color cast has now been fixed and the image is looking more natural. Now let's move on to our next document to see an example of an image that has a cool color cast. So I'll navigate up to our next document, and in this document you can see that we have an image that consists of a cool color cast that is predominantly available in the image. So we need to fix that by using white balance adjustment layers. So similarly to our previous document, let's navigate below to our layers panel and click on this icon right here. And in here, select white balance. After selecting white balance, you can see the white balance box appears. Now let's adjust the white balance slider first. So to adjust the white balance slider, simply navigate and click on this slider icon right here. And now as you can see in the image that the blue color or the cool color cast is predominantly available. So we need to adjust it accordingly. So in order to get rid of the blue or cool color cast, let's drag our slider to the right towards the warm color in the white balance like so. And as you can see, now our image is simply getting rid of those cool color casts. I'm satisfied with this particular color or overall tone of our image. Now after setting up or adjusting our white balance, next I'll be adjusting the tint colors to adjust the overall skin tone of the subject in the image. So to accentuate the skin tones a bit, let us move down to our tint slider and click on this particular icon of the slider and drag it to the right slowly. And let's drag it to the right slowly, and now you can see that the skin tones is looking much more natural now. And I'll leave it at the value of 38% for now. We can also adjust the opacity to control the overall effects of white balance and control it. How will it look when applying this white balance overall? So I can set it the opacity value to 90 to adjust or balance out the overall effect of white balance. So right now I'm satisfied with this particular white balance effect that we have applied. So now I'll close the white balance box. After closing the white balance box, let's check the before and after. So this is the before and this is the after. So you can see how natural and drastically changed and improved the overall image is looking. So now let's move on to our next image that has both the elements of warm as well as the cool color cast. So I will navigate to our next document that has both warm and cool color cast. And as you can see in this image, the overall image has a cool color cast. However, there are areas like the hair you can see here, and like the bright areas at the skin tones right here, that has a bit properties of a warm color cast. So let's see how to fix that. So in order to fix that, similar to our previous techniques, let us navigate down below to our layers panel and click on the adjustment icon, and then navigate below and select white balance. After selecting white balance, now let's get rid of these overall cool color casts that you can see right here in the image first. And so to do that, simply navigate to the white balance, and now let's click and drag the white balance slider to the right to get rid of those overall cool color casts. And now you can see that the image is looking a bit natural compared to how it was before. And similarly, let's also introduce bit reddishness or bit pinkishness in the skin to make it more natural. And to do that, let's drag the slider of tint to the right like so, and you can see now the skin tones are also slowly starting to look more natural. Now I'm satisfied with this color balance values that we have just applied, and I'll go ahead and close the overall white balance box. Now we want to fix in few areas such as the forehead that has the cool color cast still existing in the shadows. Although it is looking natural, we can fix these cool color casts that still exist in the forehead. And to do that, first of all, let's navigate to the adjustment layer icon below our layers panel again, and again select white balance. Now what we can do is we can simply click and drag the white balance slider all the way to the right to make the overall image much more warmer. I'll set it somewhere to 52% for now. We'll adjust the values again later if it will not work. And let us close the white balance box now. After closing the white balance box, now let's add a layer mask by selecting this newly added white balance adjustment layer, active. And after selecting the layer mask right here, a new layer mask has been added. Now let's invert the mask by using the shortcut key of Command I to make the entire new white balance that we recently added invisible. And after all the white balance that we have recently added are made invisible or hidden with the black layer mask, now let's brush into the layer mask in these areas to adjust the blue color cast that still exists in the shadows. So if you're unfamiliar with the concept of layer mask, what layer mask does is it simply work like a mask. That is, so the concept of layer mask is it is just a mask where white fill or color in the layer mask will show up things and black fill will hide the things. As you can see here, everything is filled with black color inside the layer mask. So the white balance adjustment we recently have applied are all hidden and not visible. So to make it visible, now let's select a brush tool and make sure your foreground color is set to white first. And after making sure the foreground color is set to white, now the next thing is decrease the value of the flow as well. I'll set it to 2% for now, which is already set to 2%. And then I'll simply brush over the image by selecting the layer mask actively. So simply brush over the areas like so. So I'll brush over the areas like this. As you can see here, I'll simply brush over the areas. I'll brush over the other shadows as well like this. And I'll get rid of those few cool color casts that still exist in the shadow areas. As you can see here in the background as well, I'll simply get it. Let's simply brush it over the areas that still has the blue color cast in those areas like so. All right. Okay, so I'm satisfied with the mask that we recently have applied. Now the next thing that we can do is, as you can see here in the forehead, it doesn't look quite right. So we can adjust those as well. So in order to adjust that portion or area, all we can do is simply double click on our white balance again and then adjust the values of the white balance like so. As you can see here, we can adjust the value of the white balance a bit. I'll maybe set it to somewhere at 42% for now, and I'll leave it as it is. Now this is how you can fix in few areas that you are not okay or you are not satisfied in. So in order to remove in the areas that you do not want white balance, you can also switch the foreground color to black. I'll use the X key to toggle the foreground color to black. Now after toggling the foreground color to black, make sure that you select the layer mask first. And after selecting the layer mask, now you can simply click and brush over the areas that we do not want the white color balance to be applied to, like so. So let's group the white balance adjustment layer that we have recently applied by selecting both the white balance adjustment layer. So I'll hold down the shift key and click on the next white balance adjustment layer that we recently have added as well. And then using the shortcut key of Command G and Control G if you are using Windows, now we can simply name the new group as white balance and hit enter or return. Now after we have hit return or enter, now let's see the before and after. So this is the before and this is the after. In this way, you can use the white balance adjustment layer in Affinity to get rid of all the color cast issues that you might face in your photographs. So if you find this video helpful, please click on the like button, and for more tips and tricks related to Affinity, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this video and see you on the next video.